Happy Devils Thursday. This is breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Jesper Bratt has re-signed with the New Jersey Devils, signing a contract extension for the next 8 years. Oh boy, is it a happy Devils Thursday. Coming to you live from the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Hello, everybody. Wow. Totally unexpected as Jesper Bratt signs a contract extension, 8 years, reported by Elliotte Friedman, hearing 8 years, $63 million. Jesper Bratt. And wait a second. That is the wrong template there. Sorry about that. We're just waiting for a shorts guy right now. Sorry for the wrong template over there. This is what happens when you go live. Mistakes happen when we do these podcasts, but that's okay. But Jesper Bratt signs 8 years, $63 million. And look, I'm pretty pumped up. I didn't think it was going to happen that easily. I thought it was going to go all the way to the wire. I thought this was going to be a long, dragged-out process. All the rumors that people are saying through the rumor mill that Jesper Bratt's agent is just going to, just milk them for all they're worth. And can they re-sign Bratt? And Bratt said, hey, let my agent handle it. I want to be here. Well, guess what? Now I believe you. Because at the time that when Jesper Bratt, had that press conference, you remember Eric Holla saying out loud, I want to be here. Let's get it done, Fitzy. And then it was just Jesper Bratt in his exit interview. He was kind of like, I'll let my agent handle it. And we're all just rolling our eyes a little bit, thinking, okay, all right, let's see what happens. Coincidentally, $63 million, the total of the deal, guaranteed. And guess what? Just happens to be Jesper Bratt's jersey number. Isn't that interesting? Ramona Rice in the YouTube Live. Hello, Ramona. I'll let you shine right now. Sam, you're all our Bratt haters. Ha, 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 ha. But I tell you what. They said that it couldn't happen. To keep everybody under $8 million with the exception of Dougie Hamilton because of the Jack Hughes salary cap culture. But Fitzy got it done. Here. 7.875 million AAV. The average annual, I'll tell you, I'll take it. It's a little bit more than I would want to pay, but you know what? You sign Bratt long-term, 8 years. This Devils team is for real, and he's one of the core pillars. Jesper Bratt saying a few years ago that he felt like he was one of the core pillars of this team. He wanted to be. He wanted to be a leader. He wanted to be a New Jersey Devil. Picked in the 6th round back in 2016. Coming on to the NHL scene a year later, Jesper Bratt now long-term with the New Jersey Devils. You can't help but just be so happy right now with what Tom Fitzgerald has done, the Devils GM. He's done it all, folks. Since he took over as interim GM when Ray Shero parted ways with the Devils back in 2020, if you remember that odd, awkward press conference, that 5 p.m. press conference right before a game, out of nowhere, Ray Shero parts ways with the New Jersey Devils. And in comes interim GM Tom Fitzgerald. In Fitzy we trust. This is a good deal. This is a good deal. And we'll go over the salary cap. Shorts guy's going to be stopping in shortly. We will go over the salary cap, and I'll tell you, Ramona is really going crazy in the YouTube Live, calling us out. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ramona Rice, I got to tell you, she knows her stuff in the YouTube Live. But anyway, so Jesper Bratt signs 8-year, $63 million, $7.875 million average annual salary, counting against the cap. And if you look at the Devils' salaries right now, with Damon Severson now with the Columbus Blue Jackets, Devils getting a third-round pick back. Devils need picks this year in the draft. By the way, June 28th at Pasta Grill by Enzo's in beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey, in the heart of Warren County, we're having a draft party. The Let's Go Devils podcast is having a draft party. Route 57 in beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey. Pasta Grill by Enzo. Stop by. Even though we don't have a draft pick yet, the Devils don't have a draft pick yet, we're going to have some drafts, hang out, watch the draft. Just remember, Pasta Grill by Enzo's. And, I will tell you. I will tell you. And shout out to Paul Marino as well. He's happy. He's got to be a happy papa. Yes, the father of John Marino, who I think is the best overall defenseman going into this season, both offense and defense. And that's a lot to say about John Marino, how Tom Fitzgerald fleeced the Pittsburgh Penguins last offseason when he traded Ty Smith, a 2018 first-rounder pick by the New Jersey Devils, for John Marino. John Marino, a quintessential Devil, going out there, if you remember, during Game 5 against Carolina, gets hit with the puck into the face. Hold my glove. Patch me up. I'm going back out there for a penalty kill. This is the kind of team Tom Fitzgerald is building. One of the core pillars has signed for 8 years. There's one more to go. One more hill to climb this offseason that you need to sign long term. And his name is Timo Meier. Timo Meier. Think about it. Think about it. If Fitzy can get it done, which I think he will. This is the first domino, Jesper Bratt. Fitzy is not done by any means. Now, James Nichols, good friend of the podcast, now with New Jersey Hockey Now, also with the fourth period, also putting it out there. What about Ross Colton from the Tampa Bay Lightning? What about him? Could there be more room for him in the mix? But the money, we will go over the money. But I got Shorts Guy in the Andy Green room right now. Oh, he says 1 second. Okay, all right. See, this is what happens when you do things live. Eddie Allen says, Timo time, baby. Let's get him signed. I will tell you. Please welcome to the Breaking News podcast. Here on the Let's Go Devils podcast, we've got Shorts Guy. Shorts Guy, hey, how's the internet in the boonies right now?
We're about to find out. We're going to see how long it takes me to drop because of that stupid Dolan internet I have.
Yes, the Jim Dolan internet. Actually, Shorts Guy has Optimum. It's kind of a bad word here on this podcast, but he's got Optimum, which is owned by the New York Rangers. Surprise, surprise. So breaking news, Shorts guy. Welcome to the podcast mid-flight. Jesper Bratt.
There we go. As soon as we're
fine.
bad mouthing Optimum.
No.
I just froze. You were talking and I froze. We bad mouth Optimum and I freeze. I swear they're listening. Anyway.
You know, James Dolan is probably, sitting in his CEO suite saying, "Ugh, Devils fans, I'm going to ruin their internet." But anyway, all right, enough about James Dolan, who puts cameras to avoid attorneys that are suing him to watch Billy Joel. So Jesper Bratt signing 8 years, $63 million.
Yep.
We're going to talk more about the cap because I was looking at some of these salaries. I mean, Tom Fitzgerald's done a great job, but don't let me influence you. Don't let me interrupt you, Shorts guy. You've got the platform right now. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, one, it came out of nowhere to see this announcement today. It's been I know for me, a busy couple days, so I haven't been able to follow along with a lot of things. But it kind of came out of nowhere. I think it's pretty interesting. It's 8 years, so we max out on. Well, I don't think we max out, but we get to 8 years that we want. So we know that Jesper Bratt will be a Devil for a while. It's a total of $63 million, which is quite interesting because that's his number as well. And, his average per year is below the Jack threshold. So we're kind of sticking to that nobody makes more than Jack mantra and actually doing it in actuality. Overall, I'm happy he's here. He's settled. Now we don't have to worry about the Jesper Bratt saga, but now Jesper Bratt, I'm going to say, has some pressure on him to earn. Earn is not the word I'm looking for, but he has to live up to this contract now. So, he's getting what he's getting a good amount of money, and he's got to play up to those standards now for the next 8 years. So now that he has this contract, he's got some. He's got some good hockey that he has to play. It's almost, I don't want to say required, but he's got to show that he was worth this contract. But it's good to have this saga over. This is saga 1. Saga number 2 to finish is going to be Timo, which I'm sure you've probably touched on already, and I'm sure we'll touch on again. But overall, I'm pretty pleased. It's all set up and ready, done. And we can kind of move on from the Jesper Bratt thing. And I know personally, I was at work when this broke. One of my coworkers was like, "Oh, great! Now I can get a Jesper Bratt jersey because he's going to be around for a while." So, if anyone's looking for a Jesper Bratt jersey, well, he's going to be around for a couple of years, so it's worth getting a jersey now.
Yeah, and Ramona Rice, she's just going. She's on her megaphone right now on the YouTube Live, calling us all Bratt haters. For whatever reason, because we were all like, "Oh, he's not going to re-sign. Oh, he's just worth too much." And then he signs.
It's not about being a Bratt hater. It's I think that the whole idea of going to arbitration kind of leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth when the player and the team has to get to that point. It to me almost feels like when it comes down to that point, I know the player wants to max.
And Shorts guy just dropped. This is the James Dolan internet that we were just talking about. Oh, all right. We're talking about the James Dolan internet, also known as Optimum, and why Shorts guy dropped out. Not our fault, folks. There's nothing that you could do when you're forced to buy a product of the New York Rangers. You saw what happened Game 7 this past playoffs. They went down like the Titanic back in 1912. Yeah.
But I don't know where I got cut off there, but the whole idea of arbitration and what Jesper Bratt did last summer does ultimately leave a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth when it comes to this. And ultimately, we love this team more than these players do, and that I think is without a doubt. We all want these players to be here because we love this team. And it's not so much about being a Bratt hater, but this is for any player. If they don't want to be here, then go find another team to play on. We want players that want to be here.
If a player doesn't want to be here, it's go puck yourself.
Pretty much. It's go go find a team that you want to play for.
Yeah.
That'll pay you the money if you don't want to be here. And that's kind of how I look at it as a fan. That if these players don't want to re-sign and want to make it difficult, or just want to sign for the money, then you can go find another team to play on. And sometimes when it goes to arbitration, it sometimes feels like that.
Yeah.
And but again, now we're here for 8 years. We have Bratt signed for 8 years, so I'm going to say he wants to be here, and he's going to get paid pretty well. So now it's time for Bratt to show up in the playoffs next year, unlike this past season.
Yeah, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Let's Go Devils. You also follow us on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod if you're watching us for the first time, and on Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast. Eddie Allen in the YouTube Live asks, "Hey Sam or Shorts Guy, now with Bratt signed, what do you think is a good contract for Timo?"
That's a good one. That's a good question. Well, it depends. Are the Devils going to stick to the nobody makes more than Jack kind of path that they're going down? If that's the case, then it's got to be below what Jack makes.
Or at what Jack makes.
Yeah. So it really depends if the Devils are going to stick with this or not. And they are sticking with it. They're sticking to it with Bratt. And it's a matter of if Timo has felt like he's had success here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we still have one more year with Timo, which I believe is the case. So It's not like we have to get the deal done now, but I think we would all like to have it done now, just to get it, just to get done and be set and know who our core is going to be. Something is a little scary about that guaranteed $10 million that's being floated around that he's supposed to get. I'm kind of hoping that the Devils can negotiate a longer term deal or something else to get below that 10, because even though the cap will be going up in the next season or two, it's not going up much for this coming season, and I would not want to be strapped for cap space, because down the road we're going to have to sign a couple other pretty solid players as well. So What would be the perfect deal for Timo? It's tough to venture a guess, because I don't know what those negotiations look like, but I know I don't like that 10 million number that's being bandied about.
Yeah, and the Devils have till 5 p.m. today. I don't know what the exact terminology is here, but they have exactly. I think they have to submit. I'll get that in a second, but But again, it's kudos to Tom Fitzgerald. I mean, this is the first domino, because that was the biggest question with Bratt and Meier is, could Fitzy actually pull it off? Now, you got to think that Jack Hughes is like in the driver's seat right now, because his contract set the tone. So every single player on the team, especially Nemitz and his brother, are like, Jack, next contract, you better get it really high, so there's some meat on the bone for us to get a bigger deal. But all kidding aside, I'm thinking 8 to 9. Can't go higher than Dougie.
For Timo?
Yes. 8 years.
8 years? Yeah, I think 8 years would be a good number. I'm good with that. I would like to see stay within the, just be fiscally responsible. Don't.
But I think Claude Lemieux is going to ask for less years. I think I truly believe because if Timo Meier, he's what, 26 right now?
I was just about to look that up.
If he does a 5-year deal, so it's a 5-year bridge deal. All right, I'm being sarcastic here. At age 31, just like Palat, he's got one more big payday left.
He does.
And maybe that's the mindset right now. Maybe it's between 8 to 5 years. Between 8 million and let's say 9.
Yeah, he's 26. So you're 5 years, and within those 5 years, the cap will go up pretty significantly. And
that's what I'm thinking.
And then Jack's contract is up He's got 7 years left on his contract, making $8 million a year. So
you have to laugh at that because it's like,
I know.
wow.
He's making 8. We have Jack making $8 million a year, and we have Nico making $7.2 million a year. Like, think about those two players that are tied up for the same amount of time, essentially. No, Nico's got 4 years left. So for the next 4 years, we have Jack and Nico tied up for a total of, my math is terrible, but $15 million, just over $15 million. And now we add Bratt is in there for just another $7 million. So at 22, just roughly $22 million, maybe closer to 23. Like,
yeah,
$23 million on those three players, and they're just about to enter their prime years. And we have that.
Oh, and Shorts Guy dropped out again. Sorry about that, folks. Again,
Bratt.
Go ahead. Don't worry. Don't get frustrated. It's James Dolan's, not you.
No. I'm not getting frustrated. I'm not getting frustrated. It's more of it's still astonishing for what Fitzgerald has done and who he's tied up, for how long he's tied them up, for the price he's tied them up for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it right now. I'm on capfriendly.com. Jack,
so am I.
22 years old, $8 million a year for the next 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jesper Bratt, 24 years old, next 8 years, 7.875 on the cap.
Yep.
Nico Hischier, 4 years, captain, 24 years old, 7.25. Palat, next 4 years, $6 million.
I know.
But you know what? Honestly, we will find out next season. We will find out next season if this was a really bad contract, is what a lot of Devils fans have been harping on. So I don't think it's a bad contract at all.
What,
because
the Jesper Bratt contract?
No, I'm talking about Palat.
Oh, Palat. Well, Palat just has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Palat just has to stay healthy.
But I'll tell you the contract that is the greatest value and who I think should get a big payday at the end of the contract is John Marino.
How did I know you were going there? How did I know you were going there?
Because his dad's watching right now. Of course I have to say that.
What's up, Paul?
Yeah, $4.4 million a year for the next 4 years at the age of 26.
Yeah.
Right-handed.
And that's hitting that stride of those defenseman ages where they really become very valuable to their team.
Yeah.
So he's right in the heart of his prime years, and he did very good for us this year.
Yeah. Siegenthaler, 5 more years, $3.4 million. Obviously, Dougie Hamilton, 5 years, $9 million. So there's going to be a lot of continuity here.
Mm-hmm.
The core leadership is here. It's just really Timo time. Can Fitzy get it done? Now, if the sticking point is 5 years, 8.5, I'd say do it. He is a power forward. Power forwards do get worn down around age 30, 31. They start, I don't know.
They kind of have to change the game up.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if anyone was going to get signed for more than what Jack makes, it would probably have to come with Jack's blessing, I would imagine. Yeah. And I know that Jack is doing some extra, promo work and stuff like that, so I'm sure he's making plenty of money there as well. And you would have to think that Timo is being spoken to by people like Nico and Siegenthaler, and being like, hey, man, you really do want to be here so that we can grow as a group, this team here, and grow as a group with the Swiss national team as well. Because them playing together helps the Swiss national team. And then forget it, if Akira Schmid becomes our starting goalie and then he gets into that fold for the Swiss national team, it'll be basically we will be the team of Switzerland. We will be the Switzerland's favorite team from the NHL, and that's without a doubt. Which means that we're going to have to take the Let's Go Devils podcast on the road to Switzerland on our private jet, because we'll play there at some point. If we have those 4 players locked up and ready to go, the Devils are playing in Switzerland again, like they did recently. And we'll have to take the Let's Go Devils podcast on the road on the private jet.
Yeah, we also have a pilot too.
That's true.
Yeah, Jeremy Katz, the guy that drew a Devils logo out in Seattle.
Yep.
When the Devils played Kraken. So we already got a pilot. Now we just got to get that jet and get that money. For that. We're only a couple good super chats away from that private jet. And then once we get that private jet, we're going to have all of our millions, and we're going to get Swiss bank accounts in Switzerland.
We're going to have to.
Yeah, we're gonna hide that money.
Can someone super chat us a jet? Is that possible?
Oh, I don't know. But who knows? But in all seriousness, if you look at this team and let's talk. You mentioned Akira Schmid, also Swiss, and we're gonna this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have a good friend of the podcast, Sean Burke, now a Stanley Cup champion.
That's wild.
Goaltender coach
so cool
for the Vegas Golden Knights. We will have him on, and we're going to be talking a lot about goaltending. But Akira Schmid, I'll tell you what, he's primed to be that guy next season. I mean, Schmid, again, not going to cost you that much this year. He's still on his entry-level deal.
Yeah.
At age 23, I'll tell you what, Shorts guy, he made a big impression on me this season. I'm not even worried if it was just a fluke year, one of those years where, he did so well. I think he's the real deal just because of his demeanor, his poise.
I mean, you have to start somewhere. And, I don't want to, make apples to apples comparison, but we did see a young Martin Brodeur come in a playoff run in '94 that was almost that was miracle-esque, and wound up, we know what happened with Marty in the years afterwards. So we have seen this story before. Not saying he's going to be the next Martin Brodeur. We would all love him to be, but this is going to be his year where it's put up or shut up time. And now if he can take that starting role from Vanacek, then it's his for the keeping. And Vanacek's a UFA in 2 years. We're gonna have to figure that out. They seem to be a pretty good duo together, which is a positive thing. So we're just gonna have to see what this season brings. My hope is that it's a Vanacek Schmid tandem. However you want to put them in whatever order you want as far as our starter. But I think for the regular season, at least, those two are very reliable goaltenders for the regular season. Just a matter of when we get to the playoffs, what they're going to have to do. And if that's the decision that we're making in April, about we don't know which one we want to put in because they've both played very well, that's a fantastic problem to have, versus limping into the playoffs and going, oh, crap, who's our goalie going to be? I'd rather have goalie controversy in a sense of we don't know who we want to start.
Yeah. And you know what, Mackenzie Blackwood, I don't think there's any money left. I mean, the Devils have to sign players, and I just don't think he's a restricted free agent, 26 years old, and he's in a bad spot right now. He's been hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's going to be the knock against him as far as moving him for some value, is that he's not really proven he can handle the workload of a season without having some kind of injury or mysterious reason for being out of the lineup, which, there were definitely some of those. So he's an interesting one that I think we're going to have to watch and see what the Devils can do. Again, Fitzgerald is very good at this. He's very good at moving these players and moving these contracts and making these deals. So we're going to have to see. I'd be curious. Could it be another sign and trade? It's possible, but I'm really curious to see what the future of Mackenzie Blackwood is going to be.
Yeah, and going with the defense, Ryan Graves, expiring contract. Rumors are that he's being shopped around, just like on the Severson plan, trying to get at least a pick just the negotiating rights. Not as attractive as Severson, but Kevin Ball, restricted free agent. He's up for a new contract. Brendan Smith coming back for one more year. Luke Hughes, entry-level contract for the next 2 years. Siegenthaler, again, we said 5 years. John Marino, 4, and Dougie Hamilton, $5 million. And also, Simon Nemec is gonna try to get that spot. At least
I'm sure
the 7th spot.
Oh, I have no doubt. And we got Graves at 28. Maybe he's a candidate for a bridge deal. And getting to that higher that higher threshold for the cap. Yeah. So I don't know. It's possible, but he that's a decision Devil's going to have to make.
Yeah. Right now, here's some RFAs with the forwards. Curtis Lazar here for the next 2 years. Dawson Mercer, one more year left on his entry-level contract. Can you believe that? It seems like he's been here for a while.
Yeah. And he's earning a pay.
Oh, absolutely. He's earning his pay. Dawson Mercer. Totally earning his pay. Jesper Boquist and Nathan Bastian, both RFAs. Mikey McLeod, RFA. Obviously, Timo Meier. Sharon Govich as well. And, Miles Wood, Tatar, and Holla are both all UFAs. Out of the 3, definitely you got to re-sign Holla. That's Jack Hughes'
yes. And I want to say that Holla is probably more than willing than the other guys to take a pay cut to stay.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I will say that from a standpoint of a family standpoint, it seemed like all the players' wives and girlfriends all gravitated towards Eric Holla's wife. That one time I got to hang out with them, courtesy of Paul Marino. That one time I got to observe. I was in the elevator with all of them, and Paul Marino and Bryce Salvador in one elevator. All the wives and girlfriends, Paul Marino and Bryce Salvador in an elevator.
And they were all gravitating towards Holla's wife. And I know that Lazar's wife and Holla's wife are best friends, apparently. Yes. So that's another thing. Good for those two. But, it just the Devil, Fitzgerald's got some math he's got to do. And, we've got a cap we got to fit under. So I have no doubt he's going to, do it. We've got $26.4 million left in our cap space. So, he's got some creative math to do and making some decisions on who's going to be here, who's not. And I'm glad I'm not making those decisions, but I have all full trust that he's going to make the correct decisions.
Yeah. And $2.6 million of dead cap space will be off the books. Well, actually, we still have the Kovalchuk dead cap in 24,
we
25. Do. Which I still don't understand that. That still pisses me off.
I know it does. I know.
It still pisses me off because there's no reason for it. Every other team circumvents. There could be different ways of circumventing, like the LITR, that circumvention.
I think it came out that Vegas was at $95 million for their cap hit.
Yeah.
With all the LTIRs that they had and what their cap space was for the playoffs. So I don't know. They were trying to make an example, so they picked us, and it didn't really work very well. So and now we're still paying for it. There's 2 years remaining, but in actuality, that number is peanuts compared to the rest. I mean, the big thing is 23-24. We shed 2.3 million. So it's one of those things to where, maybe there's a player that we want to keep, can't really fit long term. For right now, we do a 1-year bridge deal, 2-year bridge deal until that 2.3 is off the books, and then that 2.3 gets reallocated to that player. So who knows? I mean, Fitzgerald's going to make some decisions, and I have, like I said, I have full faith he's going to make the right decisions for this team.
Yeah. I agree. And Fitzy, we trust. He got it done today with Jesper Bratt. I'm happy for Jesper Bratt. The saga, like the whole wait is over. Yep. He worked hard for this moment. He worked absolutely his butt off for this moment. Because there were times a few years ago where, like, is he for real or is he not? Is he in it or is he not? He had struggled. Early on. But in training camp a few years ago, he said, I wanted to be a core leader of this team. He wanted to be that guy. And ever since then, he's proven it. Now,
he has.
The playoffs,
that's a different story.
That's a different story. But again, things can change. Remember, winning solves everything. Scoring solves everything.
Oh,
and, before we say that Bratt's a bust and all that kind of stuff, assuming the Devils are in the playoffs this upcoming season, he'll have another chance to prove himself. And
he will, and he'll have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly. So, all right. So, sorry, Shorts guy. Just
all
got
good.
your
all good. That's fine. That's fine. That's why I sent it when I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna text back.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
We're just telegraphing what we're doing behind the scenes.
Of course, it's live. Jesper Bratt just got signed 8 years. We told you we'd be live.
Yeah, I know. Live. And when you're live, you get to hear questions like this. What's with that haircut there, Sam?
Oh, thank you for asking. I thought you wouldn't notice. I just got my haircut at Connie's Barbershop in Peapack, Gladstone, New Jersey. She is now playing this podcast while she's cutting hair.
That's awesome.
So she's forcing her clients, her customers, to listen to this fine programming called the Let's Go Devils podcast and the breaking news. Whether they like hockey or not, it doesn't matter. We're going to force you to like this podcast and all. So big shout out to Connie Cuts, Connie's Barbershop in Peapack, Gladstone, New Jersey. Set up an appointment with her. Also, June 28th, Shorts guy.
I'll be there.
Pasta Grill by Enzo's in Hackettstown, New Jersey, in beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey, off of Route 57 in Hackettstown, in the heart of Warren County. We're going to have a draft party. Even though the Devils don't have a pick yet, we're going to drink drafts all night long with the Hockey on Tap guys. You never know who may show up at one of our parties. You just never know. We don't make promises. You just never know. Sometimes
you got to show up to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And also, Sunday night, Sean Burke night. Sean Burke coming on the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live. So you better subscribe and set the alerts.
Live
all of our channels. Yeah, it's all live. So when we screw up, anytime we have a Grant Marshall moment, people that don't know, we had Grant Marshall, good friend of the podcast, on, and I don't think he got the memo that, we don't really curse on air.
He's done it so many times. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's probably like, are you blah, blah, me? Anyway. All right. Let's see here. All right, Shorts. You got to go. I think we should go.
Sounds good.
But we are on standby. Standby.
Always.
Yeah, always on standby. That if the Timo Meier breaks, I know I tweeted out this morning, Timo, with exclamation points. People were reading into it. Was I giving you a hidden message of something I know? Are my sources telling me something about Timo Meier? Is there a reason that I just happen to have a day off today when there's a Jesper Bratt breaking? Do I have the sources? We shall find out.
We shall.
Yeah. Keep it here. And, so Shorts Guy, thank you so much for coming on to the
Sammy.
podcast. And I'll go solo for a little bit. And good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right.
And I'll catch you later, Sam.
Thanks, Shorts Guy. That's Shorts Guy of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Does a lot of Game Day Live, Devils After Dark, Hockey on Tap. Does a lot of all that stuff. But, yeah, Timo Meier, you're up next. There's still some money left. Timo, I think they're going to get a deal done. I think it's almost done. Or is it? I don't know. Keep it here. The Let's Go Devils podcast. Thank you all for tuning in midday, dropping the podcast about 20 minutes for your afternoon commute. If you haven't heard, Jesper Bratt signs an 8-year deal, according to Elliotte Friedman of Sportsnet. $63 million. $63 million. Is Timo Meier looking for $96 million? Meow, meow. I don't know. The number 28 is now, meow, meow, available, jersey number. Things can happen. Things can happen, folks. All right, getting out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, keep it here for all your breaking news. We'll have a Woo report tomorrow, the Morning Woo edition, around 8 a.m. I don't know why I do it at that ungodly hour. Jesper Bratt, 8 years, $63 million. Till next time, let's go Devils.